Move along, old man. Don't stink up the sidewalk. The officer's voice was sharp, laced with contempt as he nudged the frail figure with his boot. The man, wrapped in a patched army jacket, barely lifted his head. His hair was matted, his beard long, and his shoes were held together with tape. He clutched a torn backpack like it was his only possession left in the world. Another officer chuckled, shaking his head. Bet he talks to pigeons. Waste of space. The homeless man didn't reply. He was used to it, the laughter, the insults, the sideways looks that cut deeper than hunger. He simply pulled the backpack closer to his chest, his steel blue eyes fixed on the pavement. The officers leaned against their cruiser, laughing louder now, hoping others passing by would notice their mockery. A few pedestrians glanced, then looked away, unwilling to interfere. To them, it was just another homeless man, just another nobody. But beneath the dirt, behind those tired eyes, lay a history none of them could imagine. That evening, the old man found a place to rest near the pier. The sound of the waves comforted him, masking the ache in his bones. He sat against the cold brick wall of a warehouse, staring at the distant horizon. Once upon a time, he'd stared at horizons very different. Dusty deserts, hostile jungles, places where survival was never guaranteed. But no one here knew that. To them, he was invisible. The following morning, the quiet town buzzed with unusual movement. A convoy of black SUVs rolled in, escorted by military vehicles. The air grew tense as uniformed Navy SEALs filed out with perfect precision. Their boots struck the pavement in rhythm, their faces sharp, their presence commanding instant respect. People gathered on sidewalks, whispering in awe at the sight of America's most elite warriors. The same two officers from the night before strutted toward the crowd, eager to be near the action. They wore smug grins, hoping to impress by association. "Now this is what real men look like," one of them bragged loudly, shooting a mocking glance at the homeless man sitting slumped on the curb nearby. Not that bum. But then, it happened. As the SEALs marched past, their commander, a broad-shouldered man with a chest full of medals, suddenly stopped, his sharp eyes locked onto the ragged figure by the curb. For a heartbeat, the street went silent, confused by the sudden halt. The commander stepped forward, his jaw tightening. Then, in one fluid motion, he snapped to attention and raised his hand in a crisp salute. The entire platoon froze. A beat of confusion lingered, but one by one, every SEAL mirrored their commander. A dozen of the world's toughest warriors stood tall, saluting a homeless old man. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The policemen's smug grins vanished, their faces pale with shock. People craned their necks, trying to understand why. The old man lifted his head slowly. His eyes, once dimmed by hardship, now burned with recognition. For the first time in years, his back straightened, his shoulders squared. He did not return the salute right away. Instead, memories crashed into him, memories of nights spent under fire, of brothers lost, of missions that would never see the light of history books. He had once worn their same trident pin, once commanded respect in every room he entered. But life had stripped him down to this, a nameless, faceless drifter. The commander's voice carried across the stunned street. "Gentlemen, stand at attention. You are in the presence of Chief Petty Officer Daniel Hayes, one of the finest SEALs to ever wear the uniform." Murmurs erupted. The crowd was stunned. The homeless man? A chief? The officers looked at each other, their mouths dry, their earlier laughter now a brand of shame seared into their skin. The old man, Chief Hayes, finally raised a trembling hand to his forehead and returned the salute. His eyes glistened with unshed tears. For a fleeting moment, he wasn't homeless. He wasn't forgotten. He was once again a brother among warriors. The commander stepped closer, his voice thick with respect. "Chief Hayes carried men out of fire when everyone else gave up. He trained half of us. I owe my life to him. Without him, many of us would never have made it home." The policeman stuttered, fumbling for excuses. We didn't know. He looked like—" The commander cut them off sharply. "You didn't care to know. You judged a man by his clothes. We judge him by his sacrifice." The weight of the words crushed the silence. The crowd, once indifferent, now stood reverent, eyes brimming with respect. Some clapped hesitantly at first, then louder until the street echoed with thunderous applause. The commander placed a firm hand on Hayes's shoulder. "Chief, you're not forgotten. You'll never be forgotten." Hayes's lips trembled as he whispered, "I thought the world had erased me." The commander shook his head. "Never. You carried us when no one else could. Now it's our turn to carry you." The SEALs moved, forming a protective formation around him, guiding him toward the SUVs as though escorting a king. The crowd parted, people bowing their heads in respect. The officers who had mocked him earlier stood frozen, unable to move, their shame undeniable. As Hayes walked, his step grew steadier, his chin lifted. For the first time in decades, he wasn't invisible. He was once again Chief Daniel Hayes, warrior, brother, hero. Never dismiss a soul by what they appear to be. Some carry invisible medals of honor, etched not in gold, but in sacrifice. Before we end this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comment.